What's that say? I'll tell you what it says, okay? In case you can't read it. Nancy Pelosi. It says, united we stand, divided we fall, okay? Here's the problem I got, okay? America is filled with drugs, filled. I talked to a woman the other day, about a couple months ago, and total stranger, and she told me that she had just lost her 23-year-old son to fentanyl, okay? Her son and her were very close, and she did know that he smoked pot. That's all he smoked. He never did any hard drugs, okay? And she lost her son with a one-time experimental thing with these drugs, okay? Now, I ain't no angel, and I ain't no politicon like Nancy Pelosi that should be run out of office, and she should take her drinking buddy, Chuck Schumer, right along with her and go sit in a bar somewhere and get drunk, because you Democrats had all the time in the world to fix the problems of this world, but all you did was sit back and twiddle your thumbs and sit and wonder how come everybody complains about the beautiful world we live in, okay? Now, like I said, I'm no angel. I smoked weed in my days, back before it was legal. I don't smoke anymore. You know, there's a lot of things I'm totally against, and I'm totally against people like Nancy Pelosi sitting there saying that Donald Trump doesn't have the power or authority to crack down on Venezuelan cartel, okay? People, all the other Democrats complaining about Donald Trump building the wall. Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of history, okay? Democrats, since you Democrats think you're always right, and you're not, that wall was started way before probably any of you even thought about your politician careers, okay? That wall was started because back in the day, we knew we had a problem, okay? So we started the border patrol. They bust their ass trying to keep all of these drug traffickers, human traffickers, all these murderers, killers, and everything else that come into this country out of here. They die with their life defending America. And you, Pelosi, have the balls to say Donald Trump is off his rock or something, okay? I gotta tell you something. I'm not a New Yorker. I've never liked living in this state because it's just so polluted with all kinds of, it's okay. Everything is okay. You know, it's not okay. The problem with this country is that it's totally out of control with exploiting women, exploiting little girls, exploiting every aspect of everyone's body on the internet, YouTube, TV, Kotex, underwear, bras, naked people on TV, naked everywhere. Everything is just exploited because it's okay, right? Okay. It's not okay. So, my hat's off to Donald Trump. I will never, ever vote Democrat again, ever. Not after seeing what one man from New York City could do for this country. And all these people gays, lesbian, all these non-binary, throw the non-binary shit right out the window because that's just a bunch of trash. Kitty litter boxes in the schools, really? Because kids have no idea of their identity. Do you know why they don't have any idea of their identity, Pelosi? Okay? And all the rest of you Democrats that just seem to think that children have the right to have whatever gender they want. Children are just that. They're children. They cannot make responsible or rational decisions. That's why you are a parent, okay? That's why children are raised by the parents. Supposed to be raised by the parents. Half of them today are being raised by their grandparents, okay? A little bit of a problem there, don't you think, Pelosi and the rest of you Democrats? Yeah. We have a problem in America. Okay, the problem is that no one wants to take responsibility, okay, for any of their actions. And people who think their child's identity is discovered in school or at a young age, okay, should not be put on hormones, should not be classified as female or male. You need to support your child, girl or boy, in whatever gender they were born in. And if they have confusing thoughts, it's because they are a child, okay? It's not because they were genetically born this way. And if they were, it's not a parent's decision or some psychiatrist to decide whether your kid needs to be on hormones, because that's wrong. 100% wrong. That's bullshit. There isn't a psychiatrist out there that knows one end from the other end of life, okay? And making a decision for your child to be male or female is not going to be a psychiatrist or a parent's decision. That decision, it can only be made by a grown child by the age of 18 to 21, 22. When you have the right to vote, when you have a right to fight and die for this fucking country. And that's the bottom line to all of this bullshit, okay? And my hat's off to Donald Trump. I voted for Donald Trump two terms in a row now, and I'm quite happy with Donald Trump's agenda. I have absolutely no problem with Donald Trump at all. I'm actually proud that a United States human being took it upon himself to find the ways and means to fix problems in this country. Oh, and getting back to the wall, okay? You gotta excuse me a little bit. I bounce around a lot. I'm 70, okay? I've had a life full of experiences that you wouldn't want to have, all right? The wall was, the border wall was most recently looked at by President Bill Clinton, Democrat. He decided that we definitely have an issue in this country with illegals crossing the border. I don't want illegals in this country. I don't want them coming from Venezuela. I don't want drugs coming in this country. I don't want illegals in this country, and I don't want to pay for illegals to have room and board, housing, food, cars, when my home state, Vermont, has homeless people living in the streets, in tents. They have no place to go. And Vermont houses immigrants, okay? New York houses immigrants, okay? Massachusetts houses immigrants. California houses immigrants. taxpayers pay for all of these immigrants that are in this country. They are giving a license to drive cars without taking a test, without understanding any of our laws, any of our rules, without being able to speak English. Okay? No comprende. The Hispanics have been doing it for years in this country, and they know damn well all of our laws and rules, but they use the language barrier. And this is a common practice with any person from a foreign country. They get in this country and they use the no comprende, okay, card. They throw it out there. We've got truck drivers driving tractor trailers that can't understand what stop signs are, traffic speed limits, or how to operate that tractor trailer safely, okay? I've been passed by myself on a double solid yellow line on a hill over a bridge. Where's the cop? No cops around. So, my hat's off to Donald Trump. I voted for Donald Trump, and I am glad to see he is in this country, and I'm glad to see he is the president of this country. United we stand, divided we fall. The American people need to pull their heads out of their asshole and see that the Democrats are nothing but a crooked party, okay? And ELISE STEFANIK is coming up. And my thoughts are, to all New Yorkers, you better get HUCHAL out of there, because she ain't doing what's right either. She's a piece of trash. ELISE STEFANIK, vote. United we stand, divided we fall.